Right now, changes could be coming in Madison after city leaders see the results of a study connecting bars and emergency calls.
One local man's life-changing journey to Africa, some 400 years after the first slaves were taken from his ancestral homeland.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 10.
And thanks for joining us tonight. The Alcohol License Review Committee will take action before the end of the year after a study revealed a correlation between the number of bars in downtown Madison and the volume of emergency calls to those areas.
Gabriella Becerra joins us to share what changes the committee says could be a possibility in the new year.
Former Mayor Paul Soglin introduced a proposal in 2018 that would restrict alcohol licenses in the downtown area. That proposal never passed, but it did lead to a study of the correlation between alcohol density and emergency calls. The City of Madison Finance Department and city and county health officials found that correlation to be mostly true. The study concluded there is a significant correlation between alcohol outlet density and Madison Police Department and building inspection calls, but not for fire and EMS calls.
Our alcohol overlay district expires at the end of the year, so we have to do something.
The study did not make any recommendations, but Alder Paul Skidmore says the committee will evaluate possible changes, including place of last drink.
If there's an incident involving alcohol, that the arresting officer will attempt to identify where the place of last drink was.
Skidmore says this could hold license holders more accountable. Another consideration is to simply stop granting liquor licenses.
There's going to be a look at placing a cap on density, as in there's too many bars in this area and we're not going to grant any more liquor licenses.
Or a tax on areas with high alcohol density.
Where there's a huge number of calls for service and a drain on police resources, there could be a surcharge to people within the district that serve alcohol to help pay for the services.
Because of the high density of alcohol on the Isthmus, downtown is the area expected to see change.
We're not trying to stifle the responsible use of alcohol. We're just trying to eliminate the undesirable effects of overconsumption.
Alder Paul Skidmore says this is at the forefront of discussion for the Alcohol License Review Committee, and they expect to have a decision made before the new year. We will have a link to the full study on Channel3000.com.
And a new study out tonight from the UW says binge drinking in Wisconsin cost residents nearly $4 billion last year. It's about $700 per person. The study shows more than 2/3 of binge drinking costs came from lost productivity. Statistics from the State Department of Health Services say excessive alcohol consumption led to roughly 79,000 alcohol-related hospitalizations last year, along with 25,000 DUI arrests and 2,500 alcohol-related deaths. In Rock County today, jurors were unable to reach a verdict in the murder trial of Julian Collazo.
A court bailiff describing the jury's deliberation as hostile and toxic, and even said at one point verbal threats were made between jurors. Collazo was facing first-degree intentional homicide charges in the stabbing death of Christina Skasia-Lubeck. She was found stabbed more than 30 times in her Janesville home in December 2017. Now that it has been declared a mistrial, it will start fresh in December. Still no arrest tonight in response to last night's shooting in Beloit. Police today telling us the victims and suspect knew each other. The 19-year-old victim has multiple gunshot wounds and is still in the hospital. They're expected to survive. Police say they are searching for a single suspect, asking anyone with video cameras in the area of Vine and 10th Street to check their video if there is any footage to help the investigation.
Let's get a look at your first alert weather now. It's meteorologist Gary Canalti joining us in the Weather Center. Gary?
After seeing sunshine for much of the day, an area of clouds came in late this afternoon. That's clearing out tonight and will allow temperatures to drop off pretty rapidly. You can see that on Weather Track. High temperatures today only in the mid-40s, about 10 degrees below average. And right now we're 10 degrees below that. In fact, that's our low for the day of 34 degrees. Temperatures already in the upper 20s north and west of Wisconsin Dells. By tomorrow morning, we should be in the upper 20s in Madison, probably for the first time in about 6 months. Otherwise, look for sunny skies tomorrow, a chilly day with a high of 49. That's your News 3 Now First Alert forecast.
And Gary, thanks. Authorities in Milwaukee say one child is dead. 2 others are injured after they were struck by a hit-and-run driver this afternoon.
Those 3 kids involved are ages 4, 6, and 10. We don't know which one of them was killed. This happened around 5:30 this afternoon. Police say the crash involved 2 vehicles, and they aren't sure if the kids were hit by both vehicles, but say both of them drove away after the crash. The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives is now offering a $5,000 reward for information leading to an arrest in the arson investigation at the Mallards baseball stadium. Investigators say someone started the gift shop on fire a week ago tonight, causing significant damage. While investigating the scene, authorities recovered a unique LED camping lantern near the scene that may belong to those involved. Investigators are asking the public's help in identifying who might have owned or recently purchased this lantern.
And Wanakee police are also offering a cash reward, asking for information about a burglary at a local pharmacy. Money and prescription drugs were stolen from Hometown Pharmacy between 11:30 p.m. and midnight on Tuesday. The store suggests patients needing prescriptions go to nearby pharmacies until the drugs are restocked. Hundreds of trees on the west side of Madison are being removed. The city's engineering division says it's part of an erosion and greenway restoration project. This is near Tree Lane on the far west side of Madison. The city says the greenway and trees, many of which were not healthy, were not helping with flooding in that area and were being infested with invasive species as well. Fallen tree limbs and branches were also causing the area drains there to get clogged.
Greenways are supposed to help us with our water conveyance and our flooding and the way that water flows, and where that was prior to this project was not doing its job.
And she says she wants people to know that anytime the city does remove trees, they're also replanting afterwards, and they are doing that in this situation as well.
And at Devil's Lake State Park, hundreds of trees will also be removed soon. Over the next couple months, all of the trees along the road that the park has declared hazardous will be taken down. The majority of them, the park says, are ash trees recently infected by emerald ash borer. They're planning to have a timber sale to sell all the wood that can be used as firewood so that the wood can at least be put to good use this winter. Now only on News 3 Now, 400 years after African slaves were brought to America, a Madison man made his way back to see where his ancestors were taken.
Amy Reed joins us now to share what he calls a life-changing experience. Amy?
To hear Alexander G. Jr. explain this trip, it really changed his whole outlook on his life and on what African Americans represent. He's still processing what he's learning, but he's hoping to share this with his community back home.
I feel very Madisonian. I feel proud to be an American, but there was something about understanding that my history predates slavery.
This summer, Alexander G. Jr. took the trip of a lifetime. He, among 250 African Americans, went back to Ghana for the year of return, 400 years after their ancestors were taken from there as slaves.
As I look at some of those stitches.
He brought back dashikis and photos. Yeah, Danny Glover was there. But something about the experience is what's sticking still.
This is the mail.
Like walking through the slave dungeon where hundreds were kept before being shipped away.
For me, the question wasn't, how did people feel when it happened?
It gets him thinking.
I want to know, how did it feel to do that to people? And what makes you think that you can trap people, rape children, sell bodies? What gives you that right? What in God's name makes you think that that's okay? What I really want to know is what made them think that that was their right.
That thought and this trip aren't something he'll forget soon. He's reminded of residual effects of slavery to this day. But this time, knowing what his ancestors did, he's taking that with him.
When I hear things that are happening to African American people, I'm not oblivious to those things. But there's a deep, peaceful centering that's taking place inside me that says, you know what? I'm going to take the resilience that's been a part of my lineage for centuries, and I'm going to make things better.
Resilience. That's really was the key word for him. G runs Nehemiah Center for Urban Leadership Development. While he still processes everything that he went through during this, he said he's working to bring that back and teach this in his day-to-day life.
Really fascinating to hear about that trip and what it meant to him. Amy Reed reporting. Amy, thank you.
Candy Cane Forest and Gumdrop Mountain came alive tonight for kids in a local after-school program. Madison School and Community Recreation is celebrating the national event Lights On After School with the creation of a life-size version of the game Candyland. Lights On After School recognizes the importance of quality after-school program for kids. Falk Elementary's after-school program gives kids the opportunity to work on homework or socialize with their peers.
They build skills, homework skills, team building, character building. All of these offer things that can hopefully stay with them in the long run.
Event directors say the after-school program can provide a safe and educational space for kids who might otherwise be at home watching TV.
And still ahead tonight, our fall weather trend will continue into the weekend. Gary will have our full forecast.
But first, friends making memories one stitch at a time, doing something good for local hospital patients. Stay with us.
Welcome back. The UW-Madison campus is filled with rich history. Part of that history involves an organization named after a Greek goddess who is known to possess superhuman strength, stamina, and vitality.
And you could say its members mirror those qualities as they continue to do something good for over a century now.
There's nothing like spending time with your girlfriends.
The camaraderie is unbelievable.
Especially when you have something in common. These ladies have been getting together once a month for nearly 45 years, so you can imagine the history they share.
We hear a lot of good stories, lots of good stories. Some of them we will not repeat.
But what they will repeat time and time again is just like a needle pulling thread, one stitch after another, after another.
We go and shop for all the fabric, and we like to pick out different patterns.
Originally, back in 1917, when we organized, we were a quilting group.
This group is known as Daughters of Demeter, the only women's organization on the UW-Madison campus associated with a college, in this case, agriculture and life sciences. In Greek mythology, Demeter is the goddess of agriculture. In addition to providing scholarships and grants to the college, these daughters are doing so much more.
I am a cancer survivor. I have not had to wear a scarf or cap, but I can appreciate and feel how important it must be to someone who is suffering from cancer.
Every month, these ladies make 100 caps and scarves that are donated to cancer patients at UW Hospital at no charge.
We want them to look really nice when they are having to go through such a traumatic experience.
Their styles are so unique that it's not uncommon to spot them out in public.
I said to her, I think I made that cap. And she looked at me and she says, you know, this is my dress-up cap. I only wear this when I dress up. And so as we shared the story, we all ended up crying, of course, because of what the lady had gone through.
I'm making something. It's useful. It's a product that I know will bring joy to people.
But the real joy can be found in this room, inside each woman who is embracing the power of their inner goddess to do something that matters.
I think that each of these ladies, after spending time here once a month, leave this place knowing that they have done something good.
And I just love knowing I'm part of it.
Daughters of Demeter, thank you for doing something good and helping those who could sure use it. If any of you know of a person, business, or organization doing something good, please tell me all about it. Fill out a nomination at channel3000.com/do-something-good.
We turn now to your forecast. You meteorologist Gary Canalti joining us. We're going to see some sunshine, right, coming our way, but it's going to be on the cool side.
We should be in the mid-50s. I think temperatures will be at or below that pretty much for the next week to 10 days. Let's take a look at the live view from the Edgewater Sky Cam in downtown Madison. Skies are clearing out nicely tonight, and as we check out the almanac for today, our high temperature in Madison, you can see how cool it was compared to average. Normally we should be at 56, 45, the best we could do. Low temperature 34 is actually the current reading. We were at 35 early this morning, but it's 34 now. Skies are partly cloudy, the air is calm, and we'll see those temperatures drop into the upper 20s by tomorrow morning. High temperatures were no bargain, barely hitting 40 in the northern part of the state. Upper 40s to around 50 in southern Wisconsin, but those temperatures have come down now into the 30s across most of the state away from Lake Michigan. Green Bay still 41, Milwaukee at 45, but you can see those 20s now showing up over northwestern Wisconsin. Weather trackers showed how the skies have cleared out a little bit, the jet stream right overhead, and that's bringing in some drier air. The next weather system farther to the south has snow back in the Texas and Oklahoma panhandles because the cold air is just pouring down the front range of the Rockies and through the plains, and that's what we'll be contending with over the next few days. We can't, until we can break that pattern and get a more persistent southwesterly flow across much of the eastern part of the country, our temperatures are going to stay at or below normal. That weather system, though, should stay farther to the south because high pressure right now is going to just kind of sit up here for the next couple of days. It'll keep the warm air away, but it'll keep the precipitation down to the south until perhaps late Saturday night into Sunday morning. But temperatures are cool across most of the Midwest. You can see 30s to our north and west, 40s and a couple of 50s to our south and east, but no mild air anywhere to speak of. That high pressure system just kind of skirts by to the north, keeping the clouds for the most part to our south. Look for sunny skies for tomorrow, clear skies for tomorrow night, and then sunny skies on Saturday morning. But then the clouds come in the afternoon as that weather system in the south just kind of skirts us, bringing some shower chances into early Sunday morning. And then after that, we'll clear out the next weather system out to the west. Probably will start moving in here perhaps later Tuesday into Wednesday. But notice the precipitation pretty much in the form of light snow out there. That brings the potential for at least some rain and snow here as temperatures will stay in the upper 30s to lower 40s. Lows tonight will drop off into the 20s across much of Wisconsin. Notice that cool air mass right underneath that high pressure system right about where we are. High temperatures tomorrow will warm up into the upper 40s. The 50s will stay to our south and west. Tomorrow night we'll be back in the 30s, but notice the cloud cover to the northwest, keeping temperatures a little milder there. And then on Saturday, high temperatures reach the low 50s, but then the clouds start moving in later in the day. Now, looking ahead, precipitation from the computer models show perhaps as much as a ½ inch to an inch, and mainly from late Saturday night into early Sunday morning. I think the bulk of the heavier precipitation will be farther to the south and east toward the Chicago area. So our forecast for tonight calls for mostly clear skies. It'll be colder, low temperature eventually bottoming out at 27. For tomorrow, look for sunny skies, but a cool day, high temperature at 49. Remember, we should be in the mid-50s this time of year. Clear skies expected overnight, maybe a few high clouds to the south. Low temperatures dropping to the upper 20s. High temperatures tomorrow, upper 40s with plenty of sunshine. Tomorrow night, mostly clear, low temperatures, low 30s. Saturday morning, sunshine gives way to clouds in the afternoon, highs in the lower 50s, and rain showers Saturday night into early Sunday morning. Then those temperatures start heading down. And as you look toward Tuesday and Wednesday, rain and snow shower chances, high temperatures only in the upper 30s to around 40 degrees. Right now, it looks like we'll clear out for Halloween Thursday, but trick-or-treaters need to bundle up. By trick-or-treat time, temperatures will be in the mid to upper 30s. Oof. So a thicker costume probably in order for this year.
You always put that winter coat underneath anyway.
Yeah.
So.
There you go. We'll hide it well.
Yeah, thank you.
Sure.
The Bucks facing the new look Houston Rockets to open up their season. Giannis against Harden and Westbrook. We'll see how it turned out next in sports.
Well, up
opening week in the NBA, and the Bucks have had to wait a couple of days for their turn, but finally ball night tonight on the road at what is being called the New Look Rockets. And by that we mean James Harden and Russell Westbrook on the same team. But we're talking about Giannis here. He was excited in pregame to get the season started. The spin move and hits the jumper in the paint, but the Bucks down 10 at that point. Later, the Greek Freak again, showing why he was last season's MVP. From the top of the arc, Giannis with 30 points, 13 rebounds, 11 assists for a triple-double to start the season. George Hill with the ball later, passes to Pat Connaughton for the slam. Connaughton picking up where last season's bench mob left off, 10 points. Yeah, that's right, Eric Franke, 10 points off the bench tonight. Bucks overcoming a 16-point deficit at one point to win 117-111, the final score. The Badgers head to Columbus, Ohio tomorrow. Our crew's currently on the way too. Jay Wilson and Kevin Lewis show us everything we need to know about this matchup between the Badgers and Buckeyes. That starts tomorrow at live at 4. The team, meanwhile, has been drawing a lot of inspiration this past week from the past. Offensive coordinators sharing a story about the 1999 season when Wisconsin was 2-2 heading into the game against Ohio State. They were down 17-0 at the half. Went on to win the game. Ron Dane won the Heisman, and Wisconsin won the Rose Bowl that year. Paul Chryst hoping this team learns from that story of overcoming adversity.
It doesn't mean anything that, okay, this is what's going to happen, right? But it does, a lot of things happen. And that's what's awesome about, the season is a journey, and you get to play that out. And you take advantage of each opportunity, and you want them all to go your way.
High school regional semifinal volleyball action tonight. Dodgeville traveling to McFarland. First set action, McFarland's Lizzie Fortune with the quick set to Katie Hildebrandt. She slams it for the kill, and the Spartans up big early. Later on, Fortune sets it up to Avery Pennekamp. She slams it down for the point. McFarland sweeping Dodgeville. And they play the winner of this next matchup, Sauk Prairie, visiting Edgewood tonight. We pick it up in the third set. Sauk Prairie's Olivia Bruning sets it to Ada Shadwell, who goes down the line for the kill. Eagles up early. But Edgewood coming back. Don't sleep on them. The save by Annabelle Lewis. Ella Foti with the set, and Nicole Schmidt getting the tip to fall. Crusaders still trail, though. Later on, Sauk Prairie's Caitlin Brickle with the serve. It's an ace, and Sauk Prairie sweeps Edgewood. They will play McFarland on Saturday in the regional championship. To some playoff soccer now, McFarland hosting Edgerton tonight under the lights. In the 17th minute, McFarland's Eric Pagenkopf to Brett Connor. Little shake and bake around the defender, finding the back of the net. Spartans up early, 3-0. Then 5 minutes later, McFarland with the ball again. This time, Vince Siles with the goal. McFarland advancing with a big 10-0 win over Edgerton. We'll be right back.
To weather in a minute, but that 99 Ohio State game, one of my favorite Badger games. They scored 42
on the field
unanswered.
at that game. Eric Franke.
Brooks Bollinger's coming out party.
That's
that
so
game.
cool.
That was a great game. Final check of the forecast, Gary.
Cool around here as we head into the weekend. In fact, already down in the mid-30s, 34 in Madison, 20s north and west of the Dells. High 49 tomorrow, 53 Saturday. Some showers Saturday night into early Sunday morning. And rain and snow in the middle of next week as temperatures turn very chilly for a few days around Halloween.
Thanks for joining us for News 2 Now at 10.
Do something good, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.